is Mark and Charity Mornings.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast for Thursday, October 7th today. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. It is October the 7th, and we here in the Quinte area have a humidex. 28 degrees today, October 7th, 2021. It's too warm. It's too warm for the first week of October heading into Thanksgiving.
In Canada, if you're listening outside of Canada, we're here at Belleville, Ontario, in the Quinte region of Eastern Ontario, bordering Lake Ontario. The state of New York is over there to the east.
Rochester's pretty well right straight across, is it not?
Right.
Yeah.
Rochester's kind of straight across from Toronto. So
Oh,
we
okay.
sort of are.
So we're a bit...
We get Watertown. I think Watertown,
Okay.
New York, is straight across from us. However, yeah, Thanksgiving, I mean, I've been camping where it snowed on the Canadian
No, I don't
Thanksgiving.
don't get me wrong.
No,
That's
exactly.
the other side
Yeah.
of the spectrum, I think. But it's kind of,
I don't expect 28.
here I am in a sweater, a very nice fall sweater, because it's fall. And I'm ready for it, and I want it. And as much as I enjoy the warmth and the humidex that we carry on with through the summer, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to let go. It's time to move on. Not to snow, but just that in between cooler days.
In countries that take part in Thanksgiving, I think of Canada, I think of the United States, of course, but there are others that note harvests and celebrations. I don't know any that does it sooner than Canada, the second week of October. So here we are in year 2 of the pandemic, and this time last year it was, don't you dare get together with family.
That's a little different this year.
Yeah, so now that we've had vaccines, people are getting together. And so one of the things we were talking about, even off air and on air this morning, because in Canada, 2.5 million turkeys are consumed every year around Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble.
We're back to trying to juggle the extended family circus that is Thanksgiving and trying to get everybody involved as best you can, still with a few of the pandemic concerns. But here we are, we're kind of back to normal on that.
We certainly are. And as you mentioned, our Minister of Health here has actually said if everybody's vaccinated, sure.
Have at her.
Yeah, go and enjoy. So we're trying to do that. And yes, you're right. We talked about this off air because that's what we're doing this weekend. We are trying to, myself and my husband, we are trying to juggle that this weekend. And it does be... And it happens. I don't know why. It's so hard to schedule Thanksgiving. It is the same time every year. But for some reason, one side of the family, we're always scrambling.
It's like every year you need to reinvent we should get together, shouldn't we?
It's like, are we doing this? Aren't we doing this? Well, I don't know. I got to talk to this person.
Every year.
We do it every year. Christmas, not a problem. Christmas, we have it. It's clockwork. We have it down. We alternate, we rotate, we know who's doing what. Done. But for some reason, Thanksgiving, and I still don't know what we're doing with one side of the family. I still, it's still up in the air. So it's kind of...
Now, is it simply because it's an organizational thing or it's a vaccination thing?
Organizational.
Because
no, not vaccination.
We know when we hear in the news, primarily south of the border, that family get-togethers now are forever strained because of vaccinations and COVID and politics and everything. But I'm not hearing a lot about that here in Canada, that family members don't want to be with family members because of opposing views.
No, have not run into that, thankfully.
But we're all kind of forgetting what it was like having Thanksgiving in 2019.
Well, I'd like to say it had something to do with COVID, but it's not. This is how it's been the entire time. It is just, it's crazy. And again, it's not the frustration of so much figuring out when we're going to do it. That there is a degree of frustration there. It's more the case of, and I don't know if you run into this or you have, but the willingness to make the effort almost of wanting to do something with everyone and then running into the problem that, okay, well, not everybody is making the same effort to do it.
Right, yeah.
That feeling of, well, I really want to see everybody and not getting that back in return, I
don't
guess.
run into that because unfortunately we don't have a lot of family around here.
Yeah.
And we don't do traveling to see them. We're all scattered and we're all older now. So logistically, it's impossible. Our son will come home. He lives across town. He'll come home whenever he's available. That's when Thanksgiving is.
That's when it's going to happen.
Pretty well. But I mean, Steph, when she goes back to live in Toronto, because she's been with us through the whole pandemic from literally day one, she came home. So that will sort of play into it as well. But my wife, God bless her, hears stories like yours and yearns for it. because she would love to have so much extended family around, and we have none. I'm not saying that she wants to have an ulcer over it, but boy, she would love to be able to spend a lot of time cooking for a lot of people and having what the holidays are. But now that we're kind of getting back to it, it does, the organizer meet does feel for you, because it's sort of like, okay, we're going to have Thanksgiving on Sunday. Anybody who wants to come to our house, the door's unlocked at noon and I'm booting you out at 11.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to stay for the whole 11 hours or just for the meal, do whatever you want, come and go. And that's the extent of my organizing. Everybody's welcome. If you can't come, no hard feelings. If you want to come, please come.
Yep.
But, this bending over backwards for large groups of families, maybe I'm just older. I'm beyond that now.
Well, and it's
too much going on.
It's not so much that. It's not that element. And when it comes to your wife and her feelings about it, don't get me wrong, I don't take it for granted. And I'm not complaining at all.
Exactly.
But it is that feeling of, I do want to get together with everybody. I do want to see everybody. And then it kind of falls down. And it's
like, where are they?
Yeah, it's like, why doesn't everybody want to get together? We should
Right.
get together. We should get the kids together. We should see each other, because we are scattered to a degree and we don't see each other that often. I look forward to doing this, and I realize not everybody does, but that's the frustrating part, that why can't we just find somewhere and make the effort and do it? And you're right, I do have one side that is larger than the other, and it is harder to get everybody else together to find that time together.
And just say that, right?
Yeah.
Say it's just too hard to put together, especially as the kids get older, they get jobs. They get girlfriends
and in the past, we have
boyfriends.
picked other days even.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the long weekend that worked, okay, well then what's everybody doing the weekend after? As long as we get together, that's all I want. That's all I enjoy.
That's all you want for your boys.
Exactly. I want the kids to experience that too, because, and right or wrong, that's how we grew up. We grew up with the family dinners and get-togethers and gatherings. And again, I'm fortunate because my relationships with my family, with my cousins especially, very close, even though we're scattered. I still talk to them. I still see them. I still communicate with them quite often. And yeah, I do want that for my kids, that connection, that family connection.
You said right or wrong. When you were ill on Tuesday, I did the podcast on my own, and I stated how much I'm a big fan of great relationships and large families. I don't think it is right or wrong. I think your boy should be in a big family relationship. I don't think there's anything. I would love for them to be. People say, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it does matter. And it's not just that every child needs to be raised by a village. It's not just that. There are reasons why great families stick together, and your cousins are your best friends. You got to see them.
Yep.
That's that shared experience of family. You absolutely have to.
Connection with
when
them.
they grow up, they just become better adults. And I'm not saying that only children in small families don't, but don't deny them that opportunity if they have it.
Yep.
Don't raise the rest of your family as strangers if you can. I think if you can, that's great.
Absolutely.
So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. 2.5 million turkeys. 2.5 million turkeys.
It's a lot of turkeys.
Are going to be. And, Suzanne Quinlan and the gang at the Gleaners Food Bank here in Belleville, no matter where you're listening, there's a food bank in your community. Now, in our area, this area is very, very generous to our food banks. We would have citywide food drives.
Yes.
That had to go by the wayside because of the pandemic. So because it's our Thanksgiving, wherever you are listening with your Thanksgiving or whatever, supporting the food banks when you go shopping at this time of the year is still important. I know a lot of grocery stores offer bins, prepackaged bags.
Yep.
I've seen some that will list the top 10 items that the food bank needs this week: soups, crackers, peanut butter, pastas, things like that up there. So if you're going to go shopping on the way in, can you pick up some of these? So this weekend, if you're listening to the podcast and you're still shopping for Thanksgiving or wherever you're listening and shopping, remember your food bank this time of year as the weather gets cooler.
Absolutely. The whole point of this weekend is to be thankful and to remember all the blessings in your life and to be grateful for what you have. And if you can, to share that and to remind yourself that, you know what, not everybody does have what you have. Not everybody will be celebrating the way you're celebrating. Not everybody will be doing what you're doing. So if you can, absolutely give back to the community.
And be safe before we let you go, because we had Brad Reynolds on the show this morning.
Yes, it's Fire Prevention Week.
Yes. Sounds of fire prevention.
They're using the hashtag #GetLoud, and they want you to use that hashtag along with videos that you take of yourself testing your smoke and CO2 detectors. So you want to hear that beep. You want to test it, hear the beep so you know what it is. And they say film that with the hashtag #GetLoud and post it so other people, so you can share your experience and then get other people to do it as well.
Encourage them to do it. Here's why I don't want to do that. Is because every time I do it and it goes off, I scream. Even though I know the beep is coming,
Mark.
it still scares me. It's like I do it tentatively. It's like I'm going to do it. Cass, like, that's a smoke detector. You do it. I'm going outside.
My fear is always then you trigger that annoying little chirping.
Right.
Because we talked to Brad about that.
The battery's going low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm always afraid that if I touch it or make it go off when it's not supposed to, that I'll end up with that because it drives me crazy, that chirping noise.
Save your life, though.
It can. And that's why it's so important to. And usually, too, this would be the time. And I say that because it reminded me as well, this would usually be the weekend or we'd be getting close to changing our clocks.
First weekend in November, so 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
And that's when we check our batteries. But they say, no, do it now and make sure. Because a lot of people I know in our area, because we are in a more rural area, a lot more wood stoves.
Yeah.
They're cutting wood, they're getting ready. And you have to be very careful when you have a wood stove, not only because of the fire itself, but CO2 detectors. So
creosote buildup.
Exactly. So to test them and make sure they're working properly, so important.
So very important. Tomorrow, once we get into it, it's the long weekend. So we've got our Friday sing-along song to get into the weekend chosen. And Kim, I believe, is going to do the introduction. We always have our listeners introduced. So if you'd like to text us at 613-962-0955 and choose a Friday kickoff, I mean, it's got to be a big song.
Yeah, something to sing along to. And Kim actually sang along to this song earlier in the week with our Sing for Bling contest. That's kind of what started it all and got the ball rolling with this song this week.
Because it's Rick Astley. And so, huge surprise, you two.
I know, crazy.
We're going all over
crazy.
So you can text us with a song, and then maybe you'll be the one to introduce the song. Anything else you want to know about the podcast? Because at some point, it's going to be an Ask Us Anything on the podcast, which is about, we
welcome your questions.
Radio or whatever you want to know. We're happy
Life in general.
To interact. It's going to be your dad joke tomorrow. In honor of Major League Baseball getting through the wild card and now into the playoffs, it is a baseball joke. And you
will not tell me the joke.
I have been in touch with a professional baseball announcer.
Seriously?
It's not, have I ever lied to you?
Every day.
Have I ever fooled around?
At least a handful of times.
Have I ever yanked your chain? Have I ever pulled your leg?
Are we going down the rabbit hole tomorrow?
Totally are.
Okay.
For the dad joke.
Thanks for the warning.
Tomorrow. We'll set it up. You give us the punchline for your chance to win. We have that going on. Jimmy Heller's got rumor days.
I love moments like that when we go down the rabbit hole. I really, truly do. At the same time,
we should explain that.
When it comes to Mark likes to take me down the rabbit hole. Mark likes to go on these long tours and pull me along, and I have no idea where we're going or what we're doing, and then I get hit in the face.
This is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. What are we going to do at 7:45 this morning? This is like before the show on 6 o'clock. And I'll say, don't worry about it, I got it. And Charity just rolls her eyes.
I don't say anything more.
I'm not going to tell you.
And I just wait.
Because I want your real reaction. As a listener would. I don't want you to be too prepared.
Okay.
And
that's what scares me because I'm scared of my reaction. I don't want something to come out that on this podcast might be okay, but on the air might not be okay. So and there was one particular Friday too where we had a joke and I gave away the punchline, and ever since then, totally by accident.
Yeah. What is Kool-Aid's favorite baseball position, Mr. Kool-Aid? And you're saying you mean the big...
like the pitcher.
Oh, like the pitcher. Pause.
Yeah.
But that's also funny.
It's for you. But now I'm just afraid that it's going to come out again. So.
No, it won't.
It won't. Okay, good.
Maybe it will. I don't think it will. But that and more. So we're going to have some fun with that tomorrow morning.
Thanks.
So off we go. It's the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast right here. Be sure to like it. Sign up for it. And so you get it on the favorite spot where you get all of your podcasts. Broadcasting from the 95.5 Hits FM studios, Belleville, Ontario, Canada. Have a great Thursday. Talk to you tomorrow.